Hello everyone, Andy here from Andy Explores the World. I have gathered 25 unique and fascinating facts about Laos that will absolutely change the way you see this country. Please stay until the end, like the video, and comment below. Every bit of engagement helps the channel grow and keeps me making new content. And of course, hit that subscribe button, I'd be so grateful. Fact 1. Foreigners cannot own land in Laos. In Laos, one of the least known yet highly important rules is that foreigners are strictly prohibited from owning land outright. Instead, the government allows only long-term lease agreements, often lasting between 30 and 50 years, which can sometimes be renewed. This policy reflects the socialist state's cautious approach to foreign investment and its desire to keep control of natural resources in local hands. Foreigners who wish to build houses, open resorts, or run farms must therefore partner with locals or accept leasehold arrangements. While this system can feel restrictive, it has also protected rural communities from being displaced by international property speculation, which is common in other parts of Southeast Asia. For expats, it means living in Laos is possible, but it always comes with legal strings attached. Fact 2. The white circle on the flag. The Lao flag is unique in Southeast Asia, and its symbolism often surprises those who first learn about it. The central white circle does not represent the sun, as many assume, but rather the image of a full moon shining over the Mekong River. This powerful symbol reflects the importance of the Mekong as the lifeline of the country, providing food, transport, and cultural unity. The deep blue stripe beneath the circle represents the river itself and also symbolizes prosperity, while the two red stripes stand for the blood sacrificed for independence. Adopted in 1975 after the Communist Revolution, the flag is one of the few in the world without a star, yet it carries profound meaning. For locals, the circle also signifies unity and hope for a peaceful future, making the flag a source of national pride. Fact 3. Most Laotians still depend on agriculture. Laos remains one of the most rural nations in Asia, with the majority of its people relying on farming for survival. Rice, especially sticky rice, is the cornerstone of agriculture and diet, and fields stretch across valleys and along the Mekong. Families often grow vegetables, raise poultry, and keep water buffalo, not only for food, but also as traditional wealth. Agriculture here is mostly subsistence-based, meaning farmers produce just enough for their own households, with little surplus for trade. This lifestyle preserves centuries-old traditions, but also leaves many vulnerable to floods, droughts, and climate change. Coffee cultivation on the Bolavan Plateau and rubber plantations are among the few commercial crops gaining importance. Despite modernization slowly reaching the cities, life in rural villages still revolves around planting, harvesting, and community cooperation in the fields. Fact 4. Market women and their distinctive headgear. In the bustling open-air markets of Laos, women are often seen wearing distinctive head coverings that resemble small berets. These are not merely decorative items, but practical pieces of traditional attire, protecting them from the scorching tropical sun while adding a sense of local identity. Each region has slight variations, with some made from hand-woven fabric and others incorporating colorful embroidery. The headgear also signals cultural pride, as many of the sellers belong to different ethnic groups that make up the diverse population of Laos. In markets, these women are the backbone of daily trade, selling everything from fresh vegetables and herbs to handmade textiles and jewelry. Their vibrant outfits and unique headpieces create a lively, colorful atmosphere that fascinates visitors. For travelers, these scenes capture the charm of Laos, tradition and practicality blending seamlessly in everyday life. Fact 5. The mighty Khon Phafeng Waterfall. The Khon Phafeng Waterfall, located in southern Laos near the Cambodian border, is the largest cascade in Southeast Asia. Unlike tall vertical drops, it spreads across the Mekong River in a wide, thunderous series of rapids and falls stretching nearly 7 miles. Its immense power makes this section of the Mekong completely impassable for boats, which historically influenced trade and settlement patterns. Local people regard the waterfall with deep respect, and it plays a role in folklore as a site of spiritual energy. The area is also home to rare wildlife, including the critically endangered Irrawaddy freshwater dolphin. Tourists who visit are often astonished by the sheer force of water crashing down, especially during the rainy season. For Laos, Khon Phafeng is not only a natural wonder, but also a symbol of the country's untamed beauty and raw connection with the Mekong. Fact 6. The unique Lao script. Laos has its very own writing system, known as the Lao script, which is derived from the ancient Indic Brahmi script through Pali and Sanskrit influences. At first glance, it may resemble Thai, but the characters and pronunciations are distinct, giving Lao a unique rhythm and look. The alphabet consists of consonants, vowels, and tone marks that are written in an elegant, flowing style. Literacy in Lao script is a matter of national pride, and children learn it from an early age at school. Interestingly, the script is also used to preserve Buddhist texts, which monks copy by hand, ensuring traditions remain alive. Road signs, newspapers, and official documents are all written in Lao, though French and English sometimes appear in cities. For travelers, the rounded letters often feel artistic and exotic, a visible reminder of Laos's deep cultural independence from its neighbors. Fact 7. Laos and its love for bamboo. Bamboo is one of the most versatile and widely used natural resources in Laos, playing a role in almost every aspect of daily life. Families build homes on bamboo stilts, craft everyday utensils, and even cook food inside bamboo tubes. Farmers weave strong bamboo baskets to carry rice or vegetables, while artisans transform it into mats, furniture, and musical instruments. Its fast growth makes it a sustainable resource, and entire forests of bamboo cover the countryside. In remote villages, bridges and fences are still built from it, proving its enduring value. Beyond practical uses, bamboo also has symbolic meaning, representing resilience and flexibility in Lao culture. For travelers walking through rural areas, the sight of bamboo groves and handmade products shows how this humble plant continues to shape the nation's traditions and economy. Fact 8. The traditional kini instrument. The khin is one of Laos's most iconic cultural treasures, a bamboo mouth organ that produces a haunting, harmonious sound. It is crafted from multiple bamboo pipes of varying lengths, each fitted with a small metal reed, allowing musicians to create rich, layered melodies. The kine is often played during festivals, ceremonies, and social gatherings, serving both entertainment and spiritual purposes. It is deeply tied to Lao identity, so much so that UNESCO recognized it as part of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Learning to play the khin is considered a source of pride, and many rural families own at least one. Its music often accompanies the Lam Vong dance, creating an atmosphere of community and joy. For outsiders, the Chinese sound feels both ancient and otherworldly, perfectly capturing the spirit of Laos's traditions and its love of bamboo craftsmanship. Fact 9. Wild gibbons in Lao forests. Deep within the lush forests of Laos lives one of the region's most fascinating primates, the gibbon. Known for their acrobatic skills, gibbons swing gracefully between trees using their long arms, rarely touching the ground. They are also famous for their haunting, melodic calls that echo through the jungle at dawn, a sound many visitors never forget. Laos is home to several gibbon species, some of which are critically endangered due to deforestation and hunting. Conservation areas, such as the Bukeo Nature Reserve, protect these primates and even offer eco-tourism experiences where visitors can spend the night in tree houses while listening to gibbons sing. The presence of these rare animals highlights Laos's incredible biodiversity. For locals, gibbons are not just wildlife, but also part of the cultural imagination, often appearing in folklore as symbols of freedom and agility. Fact 10. The untouched forests of Laos. Laos is often called one of Southeast Asia's last green frontiers, with vast stretches of forest that remain largely unexplored. More than 2/3 of the country is covered by mountains and jungles, and many areas are so remote that even locals rarely venture into them. These untouched habitats shelter countless species of plants and animals, some found nowhere else on Earth. Scientists believe that undiscovered species still live in these dense forests, making Laos a hotspot for biodiversity research. Unfortunately, logging and shifting agriculture threaten parts of this wilderness, yet large conservation zones help protect it. For travelers, visiting these forests feels like stepping back in time, into a world where nature rules. The mystery of what may still be hidden under the jungle canopy gives Laos an aura of adventure and discovery that few countries can match. Fact 11. Motorboats as a lifeline. In Laos, where mountains and dense forests make roads difficult, motorboats are a vital form of transport, especially along the Mekong River and its tributaries. Villagers often rely on these boats to carry goods, food, and even children to school. For many communities, the river is the only connection to markets, hospitals, or government services. Long, narrow wooden boats, fitted with small engines, glide quickly over the water, proving far more efficient than rough dirt tracks. During the rainy season, when roads flood, motorboats become indispensable, turning rivers into highways. They are also central to local culture, as fishing families depend on them daily. Travelers often experience this firsthand on scenic river journeys, discovering Laos's landscapes from the water. The humble motorboat is more than just transport. It is the thread that ties together life in a river-based nation. Fact 12. Gambling banned for locals. In Laos, gambling is officially banned for citizens, reflecting the government's desire to prevent social and financial problems linked to betting. Interestingly, this rule does not apply to foreign visitors, who are allowed to play in special casinos, many of which are built near borders to attract tourists from Thailand and China. This dual system creates a strange contrast. Locals may work in the casinos as staff, but cannot sit at the tables themselves. The policy also stems from cultural values, as gambling is often seen as disruptive to family stability and community harmony. Still, underground betting occasionally occurs, particularly during festivals, but strict penalties exist if caught. For tourists, These casinos offer a legal thrill, while for Laotians, the ban serves as a reminder of the country's careful balance between tradition and modern tourism. Fact 13. Breakfast in Laos often means rice porridge. In Laos, mornings usually begin with a simple yet comforting dish, rice porridge, known locally as kayo piak. This warm bowl is made by simmering rice in water or broth until it reaches a smooth, thick texture, similar to congee found in China. Families often add fresh herbs, lime, chili, and sometimes chicken or pork to enrich the flavor. It is not only inexpensive, but also filling, making it the perfect way to start a day of farming, trading, or school. Street vendors sell steaming bowls early in the morning, and the aroma of garlic and coriander fills the air. For many Laotians, rice porridge is more than food. It is part of daily routine and cultural identity. Travelers who try it often find it a humble but delicious window into the rhythm of Lao life. Fact 14. Morning alms of the monks. Every morning in towns and villages across Laos, saffron-robed Buddhist monks walk silently through the streets to collect alms. Locals kneel by the roadside, offering sticky rice, fruit, or small dishes as a way of making merit, which is believed to bring good karma. This centuries-old ritual is especially famous in Luang Prabang, where long lines of monks create a moving scene at sunrise. The practice reflects the deep bond between the community and the monastic order. Monks depend on villagers for food, while villagers rely on monks for spiritual guidance. Tourists are often invited to watch, but they are expected to do so respectfully, as it is a sacred act rather than a performance. The sight of orange robes glowing in the morning light captures the heart of Lao Buddhism and its quiet, humble devotion. Fact 15. The ubiquitous tuk-tuk. In Laos, one of the most common ways to get around is the tuk-tuk, a three-wheeled motorized rickshaw that serves as the country's informal taxi service. These colorful vehicles are often decorated with bright paint, stickers, and sometimes even small charms for good luck. In cities like Vientiane or Luang Prabang, tuk-tuks line the streets near markets and temples, ready to take locals and tourists alike. Prices are usually negotiated before the ride, and while fares are low compared to Western standards, bargaining is part of the fun. Tuk-tuks are valued for their ability to weave through narrow streets and busy traffic, making them faster than cars in crowded areas. For travelers, riding in one is more than transport. It is an authentic Lao experience, complete with the hum of the engine and the open-air view of daily life unfolding around them. Fact 16. Stilt houses in Laos. In many rural parts of Laos, traditional houses are built on wooden stilts, a practice that reflects both practicality and culture. Elevating the home protects families from seasonal floods and keeps living spaces cooler by allowing air to circulate underneath. The area beneath the house is often used as storage for farming tools, firewood, or even as a shaded space where animals like chickens and pigs are kept. Stilt houses are usually made from bamboo or timber, with thatched or tin roofs depending on the family's means. This architectural style also provides protection from snakes and insects, which are common in the countryside. Beyond function, stilt houses represent communal living, as neighbors often help each other with construction. For visitors, these homes offer a glimpse into a lifestyle closely connected with nature and shaped by centuries of tradition. Fact 17. No McDonald's or Starbucks until recently. For decades, Laos stood out as one of the few countries in Asia without global fast food chains like McDonald's or Starbucks. This absence was partly due to the nation's strict economic policies and its focus on preserving local traditions over foreign consumerism. Instead, Laotians enjoyed their own food culture, centered around noodle soups, sticky rice, and coffee grown on the Balawan Plateau. Small, family-run cafes served strong Lao coffee with sweetened condensed milk, long before international coffee brands arrived. For travelers, this lack of global chains added to the charm, offering an authentic taste of local life rather than the same menus found worldwide. Only in very recent years have a few international franchises begun to appear in Vientiane, signaling gradual economic opening. Still, for most locals, traditional dishes remain far more popular than burgers or frappuccinos. Fact 18. The traditional Lam Vong dance. Lam Vong is the most iconic traditional dance of Laos, often performed at weddings, festivals, and national celebrations. Its name means circle dance, and it is typically danced by men and women moving gracefully in a slow circle to the sound of the keen, the bamboo mouth organ. The steps are simple yet elegant, involving gentle hand movements and a steady rhythm that symbolize harmony and unity. Everyone, young and old, is encouraged to join, making it a communal activity rather than a performance for an audience. For Laotians, Lam Vong is more than entertainment. It is a cultural expression of togetherness, respect, and joy. The dance is also used as a way to welcome guests, showing the warmth and hospitality of the Lao people. For visitors, joining a Lam Vong circle is an unforgettable chance to step into Lao tradition. Fact 19. Beer Lao, Laos's famous brew. Beer Lao is often hailed by travelers as one of the best beers in Asia, and it has become a national symbol of Laos. First brewed in the 1970s, it is made using high-quality rice grown in Laos combined with imported hops and malt from Europe. The result is a crisp, refreshing taste that perfectly suits the country's hot climate. Beer Lao comes in several varieties, including the classic lager, a dark version, and a stronger export brew. It is so popular that it dominates the local market, with very little competition from international brands. For visitors, sipping a cold Beer Lao by the Mekong River is considered an essential experience. Beyond being just a drink, Beer Lao represents national pride, as it is one of the few Lao products recognized and praised worldwide. Fact 20. The sacred Pak U Caves. Near Luang Prabang, at the meeting point of the Mekong and Nam U rivers, lie the famous Pak U Caves, a sacred site filled with thousands of Buddha statues. For centuries, locals have brought these figures, ranging from just a few inches tall to several feet, to offer prayers and seek blessings. The caves consist of two main chambers: the lower cave, easily accessible and full of light, and the upper cave, which is darker and requires a flashlight to explore. Pilgrims visit especially during Lao New Year to make offerings and renew their spiritual connection. The sheer number of statues carved from wood, stone, and metal creates a powerful, almost mystical atmosphere. Over time, the caves have become both a religious site and a popular attraction, blending spirituality with cultural heritage. For many, visiting Pak U feels like stepping into Laos's spiritual heart. Fact 21. Phu Bia, the highest mountain. Phu Bia is the tallest peak in Laos, rising to nearly 3,000 meters above sea level. Located in the Annamite Range, it dominates the landscape with misty slopes and dense forests that are home to rare wildlife. The mountain has long held spiritual significance for local communities who view it as a sacred place. Interestingly, the summit is within a restricted military zone, so climbing to the very top is not allowed for ordinary travelers. However, trekking around its foothills offers spectacular views, cool mountain air, and a glimpse of traditional Hmong villages. The region is also a hotspot for biodiversity, with plants and animals found nowhere else in the world. Phao Bia stands as a reminder of Laos's rugged geography and its balance between natural wonder and guarded mystery. Fact 22. Marxism-Leninism as state ideology. Laos is one of the very few remaining countries in the world that officially follows Marxism-Leninism as its guiding state ideology. Since the Lao People's Revolutionary Party came to power in 1975, the country has been a one-party socialist republic. The government emphasizes centralized planning, state ownership of key industries, and strong control over political life. However, in the 1990s, Laos cautiously opened its economy to foreign investment and trade while keeping the political system unchanged. This mix of socialist ideology and limited market reforms is often called the new economic mechanism. For citizens, it means that elections are tightly controlled, but daily life has gradually modernized with growing access to goods and services. For outsiders, Laos represents a rare case of Marxist-Leninist ideology still shaping a nation in the 21st century. Fact 23. The land of a million elephants. Laos was once proudly known as Lan Xang, which translates to the land of a million elephants. This ancient kingdom, founded in the 14th century, earned its name because elephants roamed in vast numbers across its forests and plains. Elephants were not only symbols of royal power, but also vital to the economy, used for transportation, logging, and even in warfare. The image of the elephant became deeply rooted in Lao culture, appearing in legends, art, and religious ceremonies. Sadly, the number of wild elephants has dramatically declined due to habitat loss and human activity, leaving only a few hundred today. Conservation projects now work to protect them, recognizing their cultural and ecological importance. Even if the million elephants no longer exist, the name lives on as a reminder of the kingdom's grandeur and Laos's close bond with these majestic animals. Fact 24. The Lao Kip, a currency without borders. The kip is the official currency of Laos, but unlike the dollar or the baht, it is almost impossible to exchange outside the country. This means travelers must convert their leftover kip before leaving, as banks abroad rarely recognize it. The kip has been in circulation since 1952, and while it reflects national identity, its value is relatively low compared to stronger regional currencies. For large purchases, many shops also accept Thai baht or US dollars, especially in tourist areas. But salaries and daily expenses for locals are always paid in kip. Notes come in high denominations, often reaching into the tens of thousands, which makes even small purchases feel like large transactions. This unique situation highlights both the economic challenges Laos faces and the importance of the kip as a symbol of independence and national pride. Fact 25. No railways in Laos. For most of its history, Laos had no railway system at all, making it one of the very few countries in the world without trains. The only exception was a tiny stretch of track near the Thai border, built mainly to connect Vientiane with Thailand across the Mekong. This lack of railways was due to the country's mountainous terrain, low population density, and limited economic resources. Instead, roads, motorbikes, and boats on the Mekong served as the main means of transport. However, this began to change recently with the construction of the high-speed Laos-China Railway, completed in 2021, linking Vientiane to Kunming in China. It marked a historic shift in the nation's infrastructure, promising faster trade and tourism. For generations, though, Laos was known as the land without trains, relying almost entirely on rivers and roads to move people and goods. And that's all for today's exploration of Laos. I hope these facts gave you a fresh perspective on this fascinating country. Remember to watch more of my videos if you're curious about other destinations, and please like, comment, and subscribe. It makes a huge difference and keeps this channel alive. I'm always happy to read your comments and interact with you. Thanks for being part of the journey on Andy Explores the World.